Right, under here, it's go time. So injectors are going to come out. I'm going to take this rail out. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and show as much of this as possible because I've not found a decent video of it just yet. These are the injectors that we're going to try and take out. There's 4 of them in here. You can see they've had some work. Now, they must have had problems in the past where someone's had to join all of these. Oh, it's just the one, sorry. I might try and repair that a little bit better while I'm here. But my main goal is going to be getting it off, getting it back on and working in one session. You can see they don't look the best. They look really crusty. So what we're going to do is, it seems like we've got a 13 here and a 13 down there. But to get to this one, I need to get this fuel rail off here. And I think also we've got to depressurise the rail, which is this here. I can't remember exactly how that gets done. I think you undo that. Something goes in there. So that depressurises the rail. And then kind of all this vacuum hose clips off here. That's fine. And then we just have to move these bits out of the way. I'm not sure if this whole section here comes off with the rail or not. It doesn't look like it. So let's start stripping it down, and as I strip more off, I'll keep the video updated. You can see here the rail finishes in there, so it doesn't actually go further than that. I thought I thought this connected to here, but it doesn't. I think this is actually this. This is vacuum, and I think that's about it. Under here we've got a sensor of some sort. Okay, first job, I've kind of done all at once. This pipe attaches to here and it has this collar on it, so you push that in and you kind of push the whole thing back and it comes off here. I've undone this nut already just a little bit, but we'll get a 13 on there as well. That's really tight, so I'll go back to that one. But also I've taken this cap off here. It's like a tyre valve and it's got a bleed pin in it, so you just press that and depressurise with it. So that is kind of the basics started. Right, so I've managed to sort that. And as you can see, this whole thing's loose and the injectors have actually all pulled out together on the rail. Now, reading online, that's unusual, so it leads me to believe these might have been played with before. Can be quite tight sometimes. These loom caps, look, have this funny little spring in them. Just crack that. Probably should do this with 2 hands, because if it flies off, I'm not going to be impressed, am I? There you go. All of them are just, and then I'm just going to pull the tops off here, so that can come off. That can come off. Let's try and get that last one out. There you go, that's gone as well. Wonderful. So that now looks like it should just come out. The injectors are all out, as you can see here. Now, what I had to do was to get this out. When I pulled it up, it was caught under here. I just had to kind of rotate it like this and it all came away. What I did notice was there's clips in here, clip in here, and over into these points here. Then the whole thing just lifts out like this. So I'm going to put this over here in the right orientation so I don't forget. So going back to my theory that this has had a fair bit of work done before, you can see chisel marks around all the injector entries. All 4 of them have been the same. So the fact that it came out the hole so easily tells me that they've been out in the not too distant future, Back to the Future here, not too distant past. And someone's had to take a chisel to them to get them out. Now what they didn't do is clean up any of them mating seats. So I'm going to try that now, but I don't really know what to try it with. So I think I'm just going to blast a drill into them with some sort of swab on the end and go low speed. So we'll see how we go with that. That's the first one done. Please don't tell me in the comments how bad an idea this is, because I'm not that bothered. I mean, I am bothered, but it's just a textured big white. There you go. And it's on a drill bit. I'm just going really slow. So I watched one video where a guy did this with cotton buds. Now obviously he won't have any threads of big wipe in his engine, but I imagine it also took him 1,000 years to get sorted. Okay, that one is really dirty, so we'll continue touching that one up, and then next clip we can start getting the injectors into the new rail. Okay, so they're all cleaned up. They actually look really good, so I'm happy with that. Hopefully not too much shit went in the engine, because that would be fun. I'm going to repair this. I'm going to solder it. I know people say you shouldn't solder on a car, but I think it's probably the best considering where it is. So I don't know if you've ever had that feeling where you start a job, or you're thinking about starting a job, and you're not sure, you don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but immediately, the instant that you make the first cut, you know it's a terrible, terrible idea. And that's what I've just had there. So the injector side of that broken joint was rock hard, and I didn't realise, because when I was feeling it by fingers, it felt quite pliable, but that was just the joint that was quite flexible. However, as soon as I cut through it, I knew instantly that it was so hard and brittle that we're probably going to have problems. So I have soldered it up. I've been left with no choice, and I think it's going to fail at some point in the future, unfortunately. I might be wrong, and I might have done a far better job than I realised, but it's soldered. I've had to extend it as well because it wasn't long enough, and I've heat shrunk it, and I've taped it, and I've done everything I can. But in a few episodes time, when I'm like, engine's not running, there's a misfire, I don't know what it is, injector, 100% it'll be the wiring. So I might even order, see if there's a repair kit or a replacement plug or something. Might try and get one in advance, and so it's ready to go. But for now it's on and it will run. I'm just a little bit concerned of the quality of the joint, and it's just bad. Like the tails were so short and they were so hard. I've done what I can. Hopefully it'll be fine. So let's go back and start building up the injector rail. So this is the rail off the car. You can see there's still got the injectors in. It's probably still full of fuel, so at some point I'll turn this over and it will cover me. You can see here the rings are in a bad way on the existing injectors, and you can also see the difference in the new injector versus the old. I don't know if that's a very good shot there. You can see there's 4 openings, or 4 spray valves, or whatever they call them on these. On the new one and the old one, there's just 2. Everything else is plug and play, so it should be a direct fit. So what I'm going to do now is get these 4 old crusty injectors off the rail, trying not to break any clips and trying to keep everything intact. Now there are clips here that look like they just pop off. I imagine if I just squeeze that off, yep, there we go. One, again, I've not learnt my lesson doing spring clips while I'm trying to film. I'm leaving them on the way they came off as well, so they're facing the right direction. So I'm not going to get confused with this, hopefully. There you go, that's them. And I'm hoping now these will just pop out, but that, nothing on this car has just popped out. But we'll see. Let's have a look. Yeah, there you go. That's moving. That's coming out. Yeah, that is full of fuel. So I might go and rinse that off and try and empty the fuel out of it before I go any further. So this is the rail all put back together. I have sprayed some silicone on the ends. I'll show you the silicone actually I've been using. It's a WD-40 one. It's quite good. So that is ready to go back in, and it goes in like this. I think that's all there is to it, really. There's not a lot else to say. I've took some photos of this as well, so I might have some decent pictures of what I've done. But overall, really happy. It's surprisingly easy. It's a big job, don't get me wrong. One thing I did notice, this clip at the bottom that I prized out with a screwdriver doesn't actually need to be taken off, so you can skip that step. But that pipe on the bottom of it does need to come off, because it's on the that's the vacuum hose. But the big clip there doesn't need to. Okay, let's try and get this in. These are the plugs, 1 step colder. They're actually the same grade as that go in the John Cooper Works, which funnily enough, this is now very similar to a John Cooper Works spec other than the head. But we'll get these put in and away we go. Right, there we are, all built back up. So the intercooler's back on. what I've just figured out is that I could have primed the ignition system by turning the car on, just the ignition on. You hear the fuel pump going, and you turn it off. You do that a few times, and it pressurizes all the fuel system. I found that out after. I was like, ooh, I wonder how I get this back on and started, and if I have to do any process. So ideally, I probably should have done that before putting the intercooler on, just so I could check for leaks visually. But sounds fine, can't smell anything, all looks good. So I'm going to actually get in and turn the keys. Okay, so here we are, first turn. Battery's on, we're in neutral. My temperature gauge says we're at -4 degrees. Something might have gone bad. Yeah, I don't like the look of that. Starts. Yeah, so it started all right and we're idling nicely. But I'm going to put that down as a success. So thank you very much for watching. In the next video, we have got a track day booked. We're back at Donington on, I think it's the 15th or the 13th of August. It's just an evening session again, so it should be a good one. I'm hopefully going to get the car remapped between now and then. We've got a chap who is known in the scene as doing remote remaps online. He's going to log in, do it remotely, so we'll see what happens and how all that goes. Be interesting to see the process on that, really. So good video, this one. Injectors changed, exhaust repaired, all good. Everything's happy. Going to take it for a drive, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.